So here, on today's episode of Answering Questions Nobody Asked, what if wholesalers were truthful about themselves and the programs that they sell? You see, recently I got hit with an ad that kind of looked just like this.
Hi there, I'm Josh, and I'm a wholesaler, and you can be a wholesaler too. Buy my program right now for the low price of $9.99.99. Get in soon, brother.
Wholesaling is the business of buying and selling goods in large quantities, especially so they can be sold again for profit.
I never lose!
Wholesaling in real estate is actually not wholesaling because you yourself are not buying anything. So you're probably asking, what does wholesaling actually look like? If we're being honest, it kind of looks like this. Hey, how's it going? Well, hey, how the heck are you? Nice to meet you there. My name's Bob. Nice to meet you too, Bob. My name's Joe. I'm actually a wholesaler in the area, and I'm interested in maybe making you an offer where I can potentially make a whole lot of money off of you for doing absolutely nothing. Tell me how it works. Well, you see, Bob, it's really easy. How about I offer you $425,000 for your house? Your house is actually worth $500,000. You agree to that? I'm going to go find somebody that's willing to pay $475,000 for your house so they can save some money, but at the same time, I make a ton of money. Well, wow, Joe, that sounds amazing. I'm definitely ready to give away my hard-earned money and equity to some total stranger. Awesome! Go ahead, sign this paper, and we're going to get the ball rolling.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
So, does that make wholesaling and real estate a scam? To understand that, we'll talk about the process. The process itself is fairly simple. You have to find the deal, then you find the buyer, you collect the check. However, no matter who wants to tell you or who wants to sell you on their program of how easy it is if you follow their process or, whatever. It's not that easy. Otherwise, hell, I wouldn't even be making this video. I'd be too busy wholesaling. So let's talk about it in short detail. So the first thing you need to do is find the deal. Have you ever seen those signs, "We buy homes"? You ever got something in the mail that says, "I would like to buy your house"? Or you ever hear on the radio, "I'm looking for distressed properties and I buy anything"? Well, those, in fact, are wholesalers. And these wholesalers, they're just casting a net, seeing if anyone would be of interest in maybe selling them the property. But in fact, they're not selling them the property. They're just trying to get the property under contract. There's some contracts that you can probably find online. And then there's the contracts that you would get if you were to, purchase a program from one of these fine fellows that advertise their programs. They entitle the wholesaler to the price that is agreed upon between them and the seller. That's it. The seller is not going to be able to source and try to find, another buyer and get more because they've already essentially agreed to sell the property to a third party, not the wholesaler, a third party. And the third party is the buyer. The buyer, which is part of the second step, is find the buyer. It's probably out of everything, really not that complicated. Go to any Facebook group, contact a realtor, you now have the ability to pretty much contact anybody and see if they want to buy it. And there is no shortage of investors that are willing to buy a property under market value, because the only way that this works is if you get the seller to agree to a price that is under market value. The third part, which is to collect the check, which is, once you get the buyer to agree to purchase the property, whether your contract says up front that the purchase price is this and the sell of the contract deal is X, or if you're telling the buyer that, the property will need to sell for this, which is, going to be more than what the seller agreed to, right? I don't know if you guys can follow that. But ultimately, any buyer, investor that sees a deal, they're going to want to seize that deal. And that's pretty much all it really takes. And obviously, you as a wholesaler would have the power to take advantage, contact as many investors that you can, and see who's willing to give you the most for that contract. So that's it. That's the process. Is wholesaling worth it? What I will tell you, which is the truth, it requires a lot of work. Now, even though the process is fairly simple, and like I explained, finding the investor and getting the investor to purchase the contract from you is actually way easier than finding the deal. Finding the deal is going to be a head scratcher. You have a disadvantage. Potential sellers, they'll contact a realtor to ask questions before potentially even signing anything with a wholesaler. When it comes to prospecting, you're going to need to go through different means, whether it's paying for advertising, putting those signs out that says we buy houses, and you get that advertisement, and then you can do cold calls, you can go, door to door, and this all sounds like work, doesn't it? This sounds like a day job that doesn't pay during the day. You actually have to find a deal to get paid. You find someone who does want to sell, and you're telling them that, well, I can make you an offer. You're going to have to go meet with them, because no matter what, you're going to have to get them to sign something. And that's really the hurdle. Most people don't want to sign anything. How do you sell? And you're not a salesperson. That's what the scripts are for. The scripts are really there to kind of give you an idea. You're going to have to learn how to become a salesperson. So yeah, you find a seller that says, hey, yeah, no, I'm ready to sell. What's your offer? You meet with the person. You see the property. You should already have done your homework to know exactly what the property is worth in current condition, fixed condition. You say, here's the offer. They're gonna say, no, that's too low. You have to sell the benefit of signing that contract. To sign a contract for that number, only for you to go and find an investor who will pay you, whatever you're gonna ask for, because you're gonna have to ask for it. And this is why, if you can sell that deal, if that really is a good deal, you can sell that deal to more than one investor, you increase the amount of value for that particular contract. Now, as far as if wholesaling is worth it to the seller, in most cases, no. In a down market, it might be. If you have a property that has any type of desirability, you will not have a problem selling that property for more than the listing price. Whether you're using a realtor or not, even if you try to sell it yourself, you have a wider array of buyers available to you that are not just going to be investors. So I hope you found some kind of value in this video of me answering questions that nobody asked. If there is ever any questions that you actually might have or might want to ask, feel free to do so in the comments, or you can feel free to contact me via website at calibeachin.com or any of the various social media profiles or that I have. Not really good at this, but I bid you farewell. Take care. I do have a bonus for you. I can cover this topic in an entirely different video and go into more detail. An iBuyer, they're going to use a similar sales technique, but the biggest difference is that they actually have access to the money to go through with the purchase of the property. And usually they can offer more than what a wholesaler would give you. So with that said, like I was mentioning, if it was worth it to a seller to use a wholesaler, and why I said no, it's better to just contact an investor. iBuyers are the easiest people for you to contact. If the house is uninhabitable, they'll still buy it. always consult with a professional, whether it's a realtor, a title rep, or a lawyer. Contact someone before you sign that contract because you don't want to get scammed. Like I mentioned, wholesaling itself is not a scam, but that doesn't mean that there are not scammers under the wholesale umbrella.